Okay.
Okay, now I've started recording. So you see the attachment had three worksheets: sheet one, score, and grade. So you did, I think you did the score, you did not do the grade, which is fine. But
I did the grade. I sent it to you.
So you sent me the same thing. Let me show you my email. You sent me the same thing. I saw two of the emails, but all of them are the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me check my mail.
So you sent me one for sheets and the second one for grade. So excuse me. So so these are the two emails I got from you. This and this one. So let me just open this so you see. So this one is the one for the
yes.
Then you sent this. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one. Okay, you sent three different. Oh, so I don't think I opened this, but let me open this and see.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, correct. I was like, oh my god, they're not sending it.
Okay, manage rules.
That's about.
I want to see what you did. Okay. Why is this different? And okay, so if I put 65, what's going to happen? So, so the thing I noticed is, while let me open it very well so you see.
Okay.
I think you applied them individually, which is why, yeah. So, what I was saying is, you can actually do the one time. I think in the last session we did them one time, and again, let me just start recording. I want to record from two faces so that we don't have any interruption or whatsoever. So let me open the main assignment. So this you tried in terms of the cells. Actually, you did a good job there. This one was just for you to practice. So this, what did they say? Anything greater than 75 is green. Less than anything less than 60 is red. Although this is a little bit weird, but okay, that's fine. We are going to use their conditions. So what I'm just going to do is just go to conditional formatting and go to highlight rules, right? So they say greater than, so just say greater than what, 75, and it's green. So I think I'll just look for a green this and put there. Then on the same cell, I'll also do less than 60.
Less than 60.
No, sorry.
Less than 60.
So I'll go to less than 60 and I'll put red. Yeah, so let me use this red. And I'm good. Now nothing happens because this is not this. So they are saying less than 60, greater than 75. So there are numbers between less than 60 and greater than 75, because less than 60 is 60 from 59 downwards. So between 60 and 75, there is a loophole there. You understand?
Yes.
So 65 will not fall in between 70 will not fall in between those, so it will not be colored. That's what it means. So what I can then do, since I applied it once, so I'll go to format painter and highlight the rest, and you can then see that um, the color changed.
Yes.
And I didn't need to. Now if I go and inspect my controller formatting manage rules, you can see I have more than one rule there. But what I
Yes.
can see, you had one rule for just, and you can see the conditions. If I come
Yes.
to this place and I go to controller formatting manage rules, you can see I still have the same tools there. So you
Yes.
did, while it looks correct from your condition, you applied one rule individually for each cell, and that is like more or less a manual process. So I wanted
Mm.
more an automation, so I'll go to grade, I'll
Okay.
do the same thing. So what did he say here? If
Just
average,
is
right,
greater than or
equal,
the if average is greater than or equal to 80, it sort of confused me, and
oh
I was
no,
like,
so
okay.
there's greater than or equal to, right?
Yes.
So let's see. So I think I get the idea. So what you can do for in this particular case is to go to let me see. I think more roots, and there is a
Okay.
formula. There's formula there. So what you can then say is equal to. Now the cell we're actually looking for is the first cell in the column E, which is the average. So you see um, E2, or you can just say E2 since we've not discussed. So we say E2, and we say greater than or equal to what? 80, right?
Yes.
Then we are now going to format. Oh, we didn't do this. Oh, that's interesting. And we said what color?
That's it.
So let's do a field of, I don't know, green, I
I
think.
can't see the color. Green, yeah.
So we can do this green or something a little bit light. Then we'll go to the font and change it to something dark or so. Let me see. And click on OK and click on OK. Now you can see that we have two.
Mm-hmm. Green.
So green. So the field cell is green. That's the cell itself is green, and the font is just bold.
Font
So
is bold. Yeah.
I'm going back to my formula and manage. Go to manage. I'll double click on it. Go to format. I'll make my bold, and I'll take it to automatic since they didn't talk about the cell, and I'll just make it this and apply. I'm done. So you can see it's gold. Then they said
I write low score.
okay, this high performer low score.
Yeah.
Highlight low
Usually
scores.
the
If any subject scores
so the
mark this is below 60, then fill
Sarah.
red. So I'll just do this. Come here. I'll go to highlight
I
cell
write
rows. Go
Sarah.
to more rows.
No.
Go to formula. Then I'm going to say equal to. I would say now I can start from anywhere, but preferably I'll start from B2. So I'll say B2 is uh, below 60. So I'll say less than 60. And the field cell should be red.
Red.
I'm done. Then I'll just okay, and you can see that any these are below 50.
Yes. Yeah.
What did you
That's
then see?
easy.
Yeah, I told you that the usually is to look easy every time. So what we can then do is to copy this out because they are now giving another condition. So these are three different. These are three different although this matches with this, or this one they say you should do a data bar visualization for math, English, and this. So now that I copied everything here, you can see the formatting is copied. How do I know? I'll go to conditional formatting. I'm going to, and you can see. So what I can then do is to say, I'll highlight everything here. I'll go to conditional formatting. I'll say clear rules. I'll go to selected cells, and that's cleared. By the time I come back to anywhere and go to conditional formatting, manage rules, I'll not see anything there. So now they said apply your data bar for this column. So you just go to conditional formatting, data bar, and choose anyone. So let me see. Just this is interesting. So you can just choose anyone and yeah, good. What else? So they said
why did I not use different colors for mine?
No, it's still fine. It's still fine. So they said color scale for average is 3 different color. So we just highlight average, go to conditional formatting, we go to color scale. We use 2 different colors. So we use they say green for high, yellow for middle, and red for low. So let me see. Green, yellow, red. Let's look for green, yellow, red. This is red, yellow, green. Let's see, green, yellow, red. Okay, so this is what we are looking for, and we are good.
Wow.
And that is at least I'm gonna go. It look, yeah, it almost looks.
Mine was I was doing them one after the other.
No. It's too much. Again, the reason why we want to do them, why we are going to use Excel in a more advanced format, is to avoid repetition and avoid waste of time. I think I mentioned that, like automation and stuff. So again, that's just about it for conditional formatting. Let me see. So I think if I remember correctly, I said we are going to do the data ribbon, specifically text to column, remove duplicate, and data validation. So text to column, what it does is, let's assume I have a file, and let me see if I have something I can use. Just give me a moment.
All right.
Should have something I can use. Sorry, please. Okay, let me see. I think I've seen something I think I can use. So these are names, right? So let's assume I have these names. I'm just going to copy them out by saying Control Shift down, copy everything, and you can actually copy from one file to the other. Now I'm just going to paste it somewhere around here. Right click, and I'm going to paste as value. The reason why I like pasting as value is I want to remove any formula that comes with it. Now these are names of students, right? And I actually want to divide them into what they call first name and last name. So I'm going to assume that the Emily is the first name, then Johnson is last name, Michael Smith, and so on. That's the assumption. So I want to divide it into first name and last name. So what I can then do is to highlight the column itself, which is column X, everything. When the arrow is down, you just click on it. When it has changed from, instead of a big cross, not a cross that has arrows by the left and right side, neither a cross that have arrow by the up, down, or top, bottom. What I want is the arrow. It should just give me an arrow that is looking downwards, which is this. Then I can select. So you can see that this, that this, that this. So this. What I can then do is to go to text to column, and what I'm looking for is delimiter. delimited. What delimited is, as you can see, characters such as comma or tabs separate each field. So you need a character that is separating each of whatever it is that is inside. So what do you think is separating the first name from the last name?
What
Hello?
did you say?
I said, what do you think, based on this, that is separating the first name from the last name? Here, let me zoom it for you so that you see what I'm saying. What is separating the Emily from Johnson, or Michael from Smith, or Sarah from Brown? Do you get the question?
No, I did not.
What is separating Emily from Johnson, the name, or Michael from Smith and Sarah from Brown? So what I'm asking is, what is the difference between this?
Okay.
What is the difference between this and this?
Okay, there's a space in between the Emily.
Yeah, so there's a separator between Emily and Johnson. That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking. So that is what you call a delimiter. Whatever is separating something from the other in the area of space, including space. So what I'm then going to do is to come to text to column, go to delimiter. That's what this means. I'll go to next, and what I'm interested in is looking for space. And unfortunately enough, we have space here. So I'll just click on space, and you can see from the data preview, right? When I click on space, this was name of student, Emily Johnson. Now when I click on space, you now see like a line that cut across the two names that I was trying to separate, and this just gives you an idea of what the data is going to look like. Then I'll click on next, and I'll click on finish. And so it has helped me separate the names Emily and Johnson into two different columns. What I can then do is just say this first name, and this is last
name.
And I'm good. So let me give you another example.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll give you another example now. So now let's assume I have sorry, hold on. Okay, so this sheet is protected. Hold on, I don't know where did I get the sheet from. It's not supposed to work. I'm feeling testing this sheet. It said it's protected. Hold on. So oh, sorry, I was doing the wrong thing. I didn't even notice that was what I was doing. So let's assume that this name came like this, right? And you want to actually separate them into first name, last name. And you can see the separating part of this is a comma in between the names, right?
Yes.
Like this one was a space. So what I can then do is to do the same thing. I'll select the column that I want to split. I'll go to text to column, go to delimiter, go to next, and look for the separator. Now the separator or the delimiter is what? A comma. Now when I click
Yes.
on the comma, you will now see this data preview.
Oh.
Then click on next, click on finish, and it is done. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yes.
And you would come to understand why this is an advantage at times. That's another way to go. Now let's assume that I have two separate names, first name and last name, right? And I want to combine them. I can use three different methods if I remember to combine them. So let's say I want to combine them into full name, right? So ordinarily, what maybe you would do is you start typing them, right? Uh,
Yes.
so the first method is you type the first name, Emily then Johnson. Now, what you are then going to do is, now that you've typed this name, and what you are doing is you are separating the first name from the last name by using a space, right? I
Yes.
can then
Yes.
click on this flash fill, and this flash fill will automatically fill the rest of what I just did now up to the end here. It works like magic. So I'll just click on flash fill, and you can see it will help me. So it is sensing a pattern here, and it is helping me to do the rest. Um, let's assume that this first name and last name, I want to combine them into a full name, but I want to separate them with a comma. So what I'm then going to do is to say Emily, comma, Johnson, John, or let's say John Johnson. Then I'm now going to click on flash fill, and it will help me. Uh, it will repeat this same process down here. Let's assume that, oh, my full name, I want to say full name, I want it to be all caps. I'll say Emily Johnson, and I'll come down with a space, and I'll say flash fill, and it will help me um, convert everything to
Two.
all caps.
Wow.
Does that make sense? So what the flash fill does is it will look at a particular pattern of something you want to do, and it's going to interpret what it thinks is the correct thing here. But I'm going to apply this same flash fill somewhere. So you can apply it both forward and backward direction. Mind you, it is reading this. I can. That's what I did here. So I can still say Emily Johnson. Maybe I'll say Emily.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Become. Yes. Okay. Mm.
Okay, so it's back. Okay, what do I do? Right, please.
Okay.
Um, okay, that's it is changing now. So if I want to write any formula in Excel, I will start with using the equal sign, and then I can do anything. Now, what I want to do is to do a cell reference, and you know what cell referencing is. I'll just say equal to, and I'm going to. Oh, did I teach you cell referencing? Yeah, I think I did in the first session, right? So I'm just going to say equal to, and I'll just click what I want to, the cell I want to reference to. Does that make sense? And so I'll say equal to A2, and it's going to call out Emily. Now, if I change Emily to Dorcas, it changes, right? Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, if I change Emily to Dorcas, it does. But how then do I combine Emily and Johnson in the same place? I can decide to say A2, and I'll now say space, and I'll now say something like this. Let's see. So it isn't going to work because for Excel it doesn't make sense combining two referencing here. But what I can do to combine these two is to say, right, I'm going to put a comma in between. I'll say comma, and I'll click on OK. Oh, so it doesn't work. No, it's not a comma. I think it's this and percent sign. This is and. So I'll say and you can see it worked, but it's not working the way I want it. So I want to include a space in between or a hyphen in between. What I can then do is, so this and use them to combine either two cells, or you can add a text in whatever it is you want to do, and you combine together. So use it for combination. So what I want to do is to put a space in Excel. If you want to put a space in Excel, I can just say equal to, then I'll put the um, um, double quotation mark, then I'll put a space in between, I'll put a double quotation mark. You can see it's not showing me anything here, and that's because there's a space there. What exists inside the cell is a space. So what I can then do is to come to between A and B, I want a space. I'll put the double quotation mark, a space, double quotation mark, and another and percent or and sign. They call it ampersand. This ampersand. That's what this and is called ampersand. It's not,
Okay.
yeah, it's not and per se, it's called ampersand. It's a very interesting subject matter. Yeah, it is interesting. So when I've, or if I've identified what I want to use to separate them, and I'll just click and drag, and you can see it has already applied, which is one of the good things I like about formulas. Once you write the right formula, it is going to do a lot of magic for you. Does that make sense? So if say I want to put a space, a hyphen, I'll just, instead of putting a space, I'll just say delete space, put hyphen, and you can see it's Emily Johnson now. I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm going to get um, the same um, um, the same kind of uh, pattern across. If I want to say, let me add Dockers, I'll say Dockers, and I'll put a space again. So I put a hyphen, then Dockers, a hyphen. You can see it's Emily Johnson Dockers, and then I'll just, you can see Dockers will then appear because Dockers is the pattern here with what I added here in the formula. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It makes sense. It makes sense now, right?
Yes.
So then so you can then do any kind of activity you want to do using formulas. This is our first introduction to formulas, and I think it's a pretty interesting concept. Okay, so what I can then do is to say what do I want to do? Okay, so another way to do that after flash fill and using formula is to use a built-in function. So writing formulas is saying equal to, and you do any number of things there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You do any number of things there, writing formulas. Now, a function is what, a built-in function is what Excel has already inside Excel bouquet of tools that you can use. And there is a function called concatenate. That's what we are going to use. If you can check, the English meaning of concatenate is to join something together by, I think, a pattern or so. So I'm going to say full name. Then what I'm then going to do is to say I can call a function in Excel using the equal sign too as well, or I can come to this place here and click on the equal sign, the function icon here, or I can go to insert and formulas and go to the insert function. It's the same thing as this, or I can come to any number of these functions here and look for concatenate. But concatenate, I think, is in the text tool. So if I click on tool, if I go to, I can see concat. Where is concatenate? I usually don't like using this, but it does the same thing. But I'll use concatenate. So if I don't see what I'm looking for, I'll just go to insert functions, and then I can then type here what I'm looking for. I'll say concat. Let's say T, and I'll just say go, and I'll see concatenate here. What it does is it joins several text string to one text string. Excel will always tell you what a particular function does. I'll just click on OK. Then what the text do I want to join? Again, I want to join Emily. The second text I want to join, I'll do a cell reference with Johnson, right? That will be it. And so you can see it's already giving you the result. Although this is not what I want to do, but this is the result. I'll just click on OK. Now, one of the reasons why it's not working because there was a formula I put there before, so I'll just delete it and I'll carry on. Now, this is not what I want. I want to put a separating value, maybe either Dockers. I want to put some separating value, so I can just go to the insert function again. What I want to do here now is just to put a hyphen, and I'll move on and say Johnson, which is B 2. Now you can then see that it is now giving me a result of what I just did. If I want, I'll just keep a space and I'll move on. And it's going to give me that space, that inverted comma with a space. And you can see the result. I'll click on OK and I'll click and drag, and you can see it has given me some form of a pattern. Now, why this is an advantage over why writing formulas or using inbuilt function for the text is an advantage over the flash fill. Look what happens when I change this to, let's say, Dockers. Nothing, right? Nothing changed.
Yes.
But what happens when I change this to sorry, I think this is your name, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. You can see now that here it has changed and here it has changed, which is the advantage of using formula instead of flash fill, but they all have their use. So I would say if you are going to use flash fill, it has to be a one-time thing, something you are not going to do again. You just want to combine the name and move on. But if you are going to do it and you are going to adjust some things, let me just say I'll change this to Chico, I'll change this to Louis. You understand? So if you are going to be going back to make certain adjustments, most likely you should use formulas or built-in functions. So concatenate is one of those built-in functions you use for text. There's also TEXTJOIN. What I'm then going to do is to go to insert formulas, go to text, and I think there's TEXTJOIN. One thing I like about TEXTJOIN is I'll just click on it, or I'll go to insert function here, or I'll go to this insert function, or I'll go to this insert function. All of them are the same thing. I'll just type text J, and it's going to give me TEXTJOIN. So what it does is you concatenate a list or range of text string using a delimiter. I told you a delimiter is something that separates one particular thing from the other. So
yes,
I'll click on OK. The first thing is the delimiter, what I want to separate. Maybe I'll just say space. What happens here? Ignore empty cells. I would say true, which is 0, I think. I think is it true? If true, okay, ignore empty cells. So I'll put 0. Then my text, Akare, and the next one is Johnson. And you can see it has given me a result. I'll click on OK. And sorry, you said you cannot see?
Yeah, I can see. I said I carry Johnson. Yeah.
Okay, so and I'll just click and drag. Now, why is this different from concatenate and Johnson? I will show you. Let's assume that I have a first name, middle name, last name, and I want to join this thing. So I have a first name, last name, and a middle name. Now I'll just, for the sake of this, I would let me see, what middle name can I get? Do I have any other names here? Let me ask ChatGPT to generate some names for me. How many names? 30 names. Generate 30 middle names for me. I'm asking ChatGPT to do that for me. Oh, interesting. So it's coming up with some Yoruba names. Oh, it has some other names. So I generated 30 names. I'll just copy and paste. Okay. Okay. I want to F5 special. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'll do Control Shift up and go. Yeah. So this is what I want. I'll teach you that trick very soon. So now I want to do concatenate to full name. So I'll use the 3 different methods. Don't worry about a lot of things I'm doing. If you are worried about it, ask questions. So this is a full name. This is my full name with formula. Now, what I'm then going to do is just to add a a space here, I'll say with formula. With formula. This is with concatenate function, which is built in, and the next one is with what? TEXTJOIN function, which is also built in. Because it's the same thing I did here, I'll just copy it and paste it here. I just wanted to show you the difference, why one has advantage more compared to the other. So this full name, if I want to apply it to the rest, I'll just, you see where this arrow becomes like a cross, the cross becomes thick but tiny, a little bit black. I'll just click and drag with my left mouse button, and it's going to apply whatever it is I did in this cell to the rest of the cell. So I'm going to use formula. I'll say equal to, I'll say A, that is a J2, and double quotation, space, double quotation. Then I'll say, and the next one is the first name, I think is middle name usually needs to be in the middle, right? And it can now be and space, right? And I'll now say and the last name, which is this, and I'll click on OK. Now everything looks nice here. I'll just click and drag. Concatenate, I will repeat the same process. I'll say equal to, and I can type equal to and say concatenate, concat, and it's going to give me the concatenate function, and I'll just select it by double clicking. I will now select the first text, space, comma. I'll put my space, I'll say comma again. I'll go to the middle name, I'll put comma, space, comma, then the last name, and I'm done. So everything is fine. The TEXTJOIN, I'll also do the same thing for the TEXTJOIN. Now mind the TEXTJOIN doesn't exist before compared to I think in older this thing, I don't know, maybe 2019, but I don't think TEXTJOIN existed before that. Maybe 2016 Microsoft Excel, I don't think it existed then, I'm not sure. So what I want to use as a delimiter, I want to use a space. So I'll say double quotation, space, double quotation. Now what do I want to do if I want it? So if I come across empty cell, what do I want to do? Or just put 0 here, right? Then put comma. Then what I can do is I can either select the 3, or I can select them one by one. I'll say the first cell, the second cell, comma, the last cell, and I'm done. I'll just click on OK, and you can see everything works fine now. Now, this is the advantage of the TEXTJOIN over the rest. If I decide to remove all of the middle name by deleting, everything looks as if it is the same thing, right?
Yes.
But in the reality, it is not. The reason is because if I want to compare two things together, I can use a comparison operator called equal to. I will say equal to this equal to this, and you see that both of them, it will tell me true. If they are not equal to, it will tell me false. So it's telling me true, right? And I can then click and drag. It means that they are both equal. Now you will think that any of these ones are equal to this. I will then say is equal to m2 equal to n2, n3 equal to o3. I'm going to get a false. The reason is because o3 is not the same thing as m3 and n3. We can test the theory by comparing just m3 and o3 together. I'll just say equal to o3, and it will tell me false. Oh, is it the same thing? That's interesting. Are you telling me that it is ignoring that is interesting. Oh, so I think it is not supposed to be the same, and that is because okay, this is J3. It isn't supposed to be the same thing, but I guess Microsoft Excel has found a way to ignore all these things for me. But I'm curious. I'm serious. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, it is true. That's interesting. Oh, am I supposed to use 1 here or 0? I think I'm supposed to use 1 to ignore. Oh, so I'm supposed to use 1, not 0. Sorry, many apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Alright.
so I'm supposed to use 1, not 0. Oh, no wonder they are the same thing. I asked him not to ignore empty cells. So now when I compare, is M3 equal to O3, it will tell me false. If M3 equal to O3, it's still going to tell me false because none of them are the same thing. The reason is because there is, if you notice these two, let me just notice these two, they look the same thing, but if you notice this one, it just looks like there's just a space in between these two names. It looks like there's more than just a space between these two names, and in the reality of it, there is a space, which is this empty cells. Now because this empty cell, there's nothing there, it's going to take the L3 as another space there, or empty cells. It's going to put something there, so most likely another space. You can see that the space between these two names is a little bit smaller compared to the space between these two names. Is that not?
Yeah. Yes, right.
So that is one of the advantages of using TEXTJOIN over concatenate or formula, just use writing normal formula, because it's going to ignore empty cells. Now you might not notice that until when you start doing a whole lot of things. Maybe you have much, maybe somebody has traditional name here and stuff, then you will now see the difference. You understand? And so it is really, really important that you know when to use any of these formulas. The other function I'm going to show you is the trim function. Now I'm going to copy this, guys, this one here. I'll copy it and I'll paste it. I'm going to paste it here, or maybe I'll shift it to this place. Now if I want to compare these two column O, the values in column O and the values in column Q, I would say is this equal to this, and it's telling me false, right? And let me click down now. So what I want to do now is hold on, insert. What I don't want to do is, since it's not the same thing, I'm sensing most likely that there's a space that is here that is not here, most likely. What I can then do manually is to say, I'll come here, I'll delete one of the space, and I'll just enter, and you can see it has changed to 3. So it means that there is an extra space that is here that is not supposed to be there. Now you can do this manually, or there's a formula you can use, or a function, built-in function, and I think it's in the text, is called trim, the trim function, which is here. And then I'm going to trim this guy. So what this is going to do is to, so you can notice that when I refer to R3, you can see what it gave me. Akaye Johnson with some extra space, but by the time I click on the reference cell, look at the result. Can you see that this is somewhat different from this? You can see that it looks like there's more space here than this result. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
So then, so what does the trim function does? It said remove all space from a text string
From a text
except
string
for a
except
single space
string
between words.
in words.
So ordinarily, between one word and the other is supposed to be one space, right? So I'll click on
Yes.
OK. So you see that Excel, when you start using Microsoft Excel, it is then you will now understand that even for sentences, they are supposed to have one space. That's when you like know there's not supposed to be a very long space between one word and the other. I don't know if that makes sense. So I can then
Yes.
click and drag. Then when I'm then done with the adjustment, I'll just copy and I'll paste it here as values. And you can see when I paste it here as values, I can then delete this, and you can then see that everything here is showing me true.
Yes.
So it means that they are now the same thing. So you can use the trim functionality to separate um, empty spaces, so to remove empty spaces from a particular what do I say? A particular word or sentence, removing out or between two words that have extra spaces. Now you might be wondering, where do I use this? I would show you an instance where that would be a problem, hopefully in the coming class. Just keep this at heart. I'm going to show you where you are going to use this particular trim function, why it is really important. But you
Okay.
understand where you use the text join, concatenate, as well as this particular formula here. Now, one of the reasons why I like about this formula is that you can actually use it to do a whole lot of things. This I can say that again the concatenate two works. Let me see. So let me go to another sheet. Let's say, and I'll just copy this. Control C, and I don't want the formula. I'll just paste it as value. So it's going to remove the formula for me. I can see um, items. I can see quantity. I can see price. I can see total. And I'm just going to come up with let's. Okay, sorry. Let me just hold on. Let me ask. Um, let me ask ChatGPT to generate some data from the com. Generate unit price for get. Just hold on.
All right.
Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna copy. Okay, so copy. I'm gonna paste it here. Cool. So I generated some items now, and my total I can actually use. My total will be what price multiplied by quantity, right? So I'll just say equal to. I'll say I'll do a reference to this cell, and I'll use the asterisk sign. It's multiplication in Excel, and I'll refer do a cell referencing to the price. I'll click on OK, and I'll just drag. Now, what I was trying to show you is, let's say I want to do a phrase, like a sentence. I want to just write some couple of sentences. Let me go to view, remove grid. Now, I want to say this. Sorry, excuse me. This person bought this item at bought this number of item at this price and spent a total of this amount of money. So I would say Akari Johnson bought 24 pen I can use this at 0.5, maybe say dollar per unit, and spent a total of $12. So I would say this dollar and spend a total of $12. Now this is what I want to write for each line item. That's what I want to do, but I can then use formula to solve this problem. I will just say equal to, and I'm going to do a cell reference to this full name, right? And I would say and okay, so okay, hold on. So I'm going to remove this and I'll use inverted comma, but I would say I will now say and %, and my 24 is my quantity, right?
Yes.
24, and I will now say, and maybe I'll just give a space in between, and I'll now say and pen, right? Which is this.
Yes.
And I would say and % inverted comma, and most likely I'll do an inverted comma here. I would say and %, then I'm going to refer to this price. I would say and % inverted comma, and maybe here I would say close inverted comma and %, and or I'll add this dollar to it. I'll say and %, then the last is the total here. Now you can see that I did the same thing. Akari Johnson bought 24 pen at $0.5 per unit. I can say per pen. Let me even make it more interesting. Don't mind me. I like to complicate things.
Okay.
I'll say and I'll put pen here. So I'll say Akari Johnson bought 24 pen at $0.5 per pen and spent a total of this. Now I can click and drag, and I'm going to get the same thing. So to Michael Smith bought 12 notebook at $2.3 per notebook and spent a total of this. Let me tell you the most interesting part of this. Now when I start changing the numbers to, let's say 40, right? At 40, you can see that at $40 per item, the total has changed to $960. Now you can see you bought sorry, your name is not, your son is not Johnson. And so Akari Johnson bought 24 pen at $40 per pen and spent a total of $960. You can see that changed. And if I then decide to say, oh okay, let me just put this name to I think it's how do you spell, okay, let's say Jackie Chan. It then changed to Jackie Chan. The name then changed. So I think it's one of, me personally, I think it's one of the interesting things about the use of formula or the use of concatenate. So you can then customize whatever it is. Let's say you're actually giving a report and you don't want to have to type all of these things. You can actually use Excel to do all of this and it works fine. So here, if I change it to, let's say 14, so Alexander Floss, right? Bought tape dispenser. So watch what happens. So it was for 7 tape dispenser at $2.8, and you can see the total price is $19.9. Now if I change the price, you can see it has changed to $14 and a total of $98, which tallies with this. So it is some way to do some kind of automation. I'll just say text output, so I can just see, or statements or comments. I think that makes sense. And you can actually do some cool stuff using concatenate or using this particular formula. So I can do it using concatenate, I can do it also using text join. So what I can then do is say equal to concatenate. I'll say these text. Again, I'm going to copy everything here because I am lazy like that. I'm too lazy. I don't like typing. One of the reasons why I like data analytics is because I'm lazy. Just so you know. Yes, it's for me personally. It makes my life easy. So what I can then do, I'll say Jackie Chan. I'll say comma. Now I'm going to put inverted comma. I'll say dot. I'll put a space there. Put this. I'll now say comma 24 comma, then I'll put a space, and I'll say comma again. I'll say pen. I'll say comma. I'll put an inverted comma, a space, and at. I'll put a space after the at, and I'll say maybe even dollar after the at, and I'll say comma. I'll say at $40, comma. I'll now say per. So you can see it's painful to actually do in the first instance, but when you are done with it per pen, you can then, and spend, I will now say comma, and spend a total of, I'll now put the dollar sign, end with an inverted comma, then I'll now say comma, and I'll put this, and I'm done. So I've actually done the same thing using two different methods. So it does the same thing. Does that make sense? It does the same thing, and I think the text join does the same thing as well. I'm not sure, but I think it does the same thing as well. Okay, so I would say so the use of formula, I'll say use of concatenate function. Let me see if the text join does too. I don't know, I'm not sure, I've never tried it before actually, but it would be really interesting to test. I'll say equal to text join, and I'll say delimiter is space. I want to put a space in everything I want to do, and I'll say 1, and I'll now say Jackie-chan, comma, and I'll now say but, and I'm not even going to use space here now. I'll just say but comma, I'll say 24 comma 10 comma, and I'll now say should I keep a space here? I'll say at comma. The unfortunate thing is at, this is going to give me a space. I think that's the unfortunate thing. At $40, I'll say comma, I'll say per, and I'll say comma per pen, and I'll say comma, and spend a total of, $, then this. Now you can see it did the same thing for me, and I'll just click and drag, and it actually did the same thing for me. That's interesting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But it is a lot of headache, right? But it does make
A
sense.
lot. I just keep wondering that, hey God, what is this?
Yeah, it's a lot. So I think we're actually not going to go that much. This is just, like I said, a tip of the iceberg, but please continue practicing. So I'm going to send you a different assignment from this that you can apply. So the thing is, the more you practice. Look, the problem I have with a lot of people in this field is a lot of them are novice. We'll see this course, they will do this course, they will do that course. Somebody was sending me a message on Facebook, Facebook, LinkedIn, that I've done this, I've done that. Where do I go next? Like, they've done this course, they've done that course, they don't know where to go next. You know what I have to tell the person? I say it's because you don't have problem to solve. If you have enough problem to solve, you will not be talking like this. And the people are not that creative enough to say, let me generate problem myself. Me personally, how I learned a lot of things I didn't do any course on this stuff. If I start a course today, I'm very lazy. I'll stop it because I don't think I've completed any of the courses until recently that I did a professional diploma in one of these universities in Nigeria. And even at that, I think I did it because, I wanted to get the certificate. But the point is, what I'm just trying to say is, I was fortunate enough to know that for me to continue learning this thing, I have to create problems. But I learned it the hard way. So, the more you practice, the more you create problems for yourself, the more you don't get bored of what you are learning and say, I forgot this, I forgot that. What does it help me to do? I was telling you yesterday, or was it today, when we started, that I have never used a particular tool before. And fortunately enough, when I decided to start reading on the tool itself, I didn't know when I started doing a lot of deployments for this same tool. I did it in about 24 hours. I was able to get the hang of how to actually do a lot of these things. And it is teaching. I've never touched this stuff before, but I was able to play with it. I was able to understand some of these things and deployed. I think I have done a deployment of this. This is like a data collection tool. I have been able to deploy this same tool. Let me go to this place, and I shared it with myself with a different account. Gave it some okay, so I gave it some hold on, sorry. I gave it some access. Okay, I think I did something here. Yeah, cool. Let me go back. Hold on. I was able to collaborate with myself using a different account, and it was pretty interesting. What role did I give this guy? Okay, this guy is a partner. Oh, cool. I was trying to test out something. Where's partner reporting? And yeah. And again, I was able to do some some crazy things with this particular tool.
Nice.
And again, it just takes reading. It takes a lot of reading and it takes a lot of I don't know, dedication and trying to, yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
have to keep pushing, you don't give up and things like that for you to become, I don't know, good. I don't think I am good because I don't think I'm there yet. But the one thing I'm not afraid of is to say, um, this thing is beyond me or something like that. I usually want to try my best at every point in time. And yeah. Oh, I don't think I've given this person. Oh, reporting partner. No, it's not supposed to be like that. I think I'm supposed to refresh. So it's not in the reporting part. Ah, yeah, cool. So yeah, so I was able to. Now, if you notice that I had this choice selector. I had like three things here. Let me go back to um, the main form itself. I
Okay.
had three different choices here. I have farm input, fertilizer, and seed. I collaborated with myself, but I only gave this person one choice, and I just want to see one choice of something. The person can enter, which is fertilizer, so the person is not going to see the rest of these choices. And again, a lot of these tools don't give this particular type of result. I was pretty impressed with this stuff, but it didn't take me a lot of time to learn this stuff. Like, it did not. I've learned tools in Excel that I've never used before in less than a matter
Wow.
of days, in less than one day, like 4 hours or thereabout. The famous, um, but there will be a time that we'll be writing just codes and we'll be automating this thing, which is Power Query. The famous Power Query, I've never used it before 2022. Why did I started using this particular Power Query tool? The reason is because I ever did a payment draft for my boss and it contained a lot of formulas. And it was like, after I was done with it, it was like, can't you find a way to remove all of these formulas? You see these formulas that I'm writing? He's saying that,
Yeah.
can't I find a way to remove all these formulas inside? It's making the work too heavy.
Hmm.
Anybody that have access to this, if they don't have good laptop, it will not be a laptop that is fast. They will not be able to open it and interact with it. I was like, hey, TVC problem, or what do I do? That was when I now decided I've been hearing about Power Query. Let me go and see what it's all about. And I think in less than
Yeah.
4 hours, I got the hang of it, and I used it to write a report. I did not touch that report for more than 1 year. I didn't do any editing on that
Wow.
report for more than 1 year. All I have need to do is just to update the report with the latest file, and I'll just refresh my Microsoft Excel and it will just bring me the latest report. And it didn't take me a lot of time. So the point I'm just trying to say is, it's not for a matter of brag. I have a lot to learn. I'm still learning a lot. But um, how did I learn this? Or how did I get to this particular stage where I can teach myself things? Is because I'm always looking for some problem or the other to actually deal with this, to actually tackle problems. How did I learn this new tool? I already have a tool that I have deployed somewhere else, this same tool, but in a different framework. I said, okay, let me just redesign this tool using this new framework that um, some people just introduced me to, and it has documentation. I had to read a lot of this documentation, very interesting stuff. I read this, I googled how to do this. I think I'll come here maybe today or tomorrow and maybe do some automation. Then maybe so this is my main target: Excel, Power BI, API reference,
Wow.
maybe look at this stuff. The formulas are not so
Wow.
different from Microsoft Excel's formula. It has, these are all mostly Microsoft Excel formulas. Very interesting stuff. This one is, I think, Power BI has this formula, this average X and so on. They call it DAX. I've forgotten the name of the code. These are things that I'm not so, these are not, how do I say? they are not new per se to me. So
Wow. Yeah.
I'd say it's interesting, but you have to give it for you to be able to get to where you are comfortable doing research on your own. You have to give it your time of the day. Like you really have to be good, not just of course at the end of the day you have to use it to make money. But if you want to be outstanding, you want to be good at your own niche, and you need to create a niche. It's like it's still a business. Forget its job. It's still a business. You have to
Yeah.
be good at what you do in such a way that, let's say you want increment in pay, you want to get your own consultancy to be doing all of this stuff, because there is that opportunity, especially in the UK and even in Europe. And let's assume you want to do all of these things. If you are not good at what you do, it becomes a problem. So what I would tell you about myself, I'm not so good as compared to a lot of people you see on YouTube and stuff. However, I'm not afraid to learn anything new, in as much as I'm going to use it to get to solve one problem or the other. I've learned a lot of tools, like a lot of tools over there, and I think I'm 95% self-taught. I taught myself these things. And how was I able to do it? I was just looking for where to solve problems, even in my place of work. I don't say, people have this mentality, oh no, it is not my purview, I'm not going to do it. For me personally, why I think it is necessary for you to push yourself to do a whole lot of things that are above your purview, so that you can learn. By the time you are now experienced in trying to use what you know, for instance, data analytics to solve problems, then you can then start demanding, no, I'm not going to do this unless you pay me. It's not like I'm not saying I can't do it or I cannot try, but I've gotten to that extent where I know my stuff. So if you want me to go overboard, then you have to pay me. But what we're having now is, by the time you give somebody who's just starting a task to do, no sir, this is beyond my purview. For you to be able to make that kind of demand, it means that you are very good with your meat, like you know your stuff.
Yes.
So for you to get there, it means you have to make certain sacrifice by going beyond your purview, being very uncomfortable, like trying new things. That's the only way you would learn. Frankly, nobody will come. I can't teach you everything. You have to be very curious, extremely curious. I cannot teach you everything. But what I can do is to teach you enough to be able to use the tool to solve problems. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I used
Yes.
about
Well,
5 minutes to make lunch. I think it's more than 5 minutes. Anyways, any questions? I think we would stop here today. I know we've done a lot. We are still going to do a lot. Thank God I recorded this
Lord.
session. I didn't even do remove duplicate and data validation, but hopefully tomorrow we'll do this and we'll come to formula proper, the use of functions, custom formulas, and so on and so forth. And it will take us maybe next 3 weeks, and we'll go to pivot table. That is this insert one. We'll talk about pivot table. After that, I want us to do visualization last. We'll go to Power Query, then we'll then start doing visualization. I usually like visualization last, and
Okay.
that's for me personally. I never loved visualization before now. I hated visualization because
Uh,
I have the opinion that visualization actually does not tell the true nature of
mhm.
something. What it does is to give an idea of what something is, but it doesn't really tell the true nature of anything. If you want to check the true nature of something, you have to do a lot of investigation and analysis. So a visualization will only give you an idea. That's my own perspective of what the nature of something is, not necessarily the true picture, but it will give you some level of idea. That's me, anyways.
Okay.
Yes,
I
sir.
look forward to that.
Yeah, that is me. And the reason is I'm talking from a lot of experience, a lot of experience where you see people do visualization, and in reality, they are actually telling lies. Like I couldn't believe my
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah, yeah. So I really, it's a force of nature now because of all of these tools like Tableau, Power BI, a lot of all of these the very nice tools that you can use to do in interactive dashboard as if you are building a website. However, I still do not like visualization at all.
Mm,
Yeah, I'd rather you give me this pivot table than give me visualization.
and visualization.
Yeah, I like to see numbers.
Is it very difficult?
It is not difficult. It's one of, I think, one of the easiest things to do.
Okay.
Yeah, it is one of, I think, one of the easiest things to do.
Okay.
Although it is, it is kind of difficult when you start going to Power BI and stuff. But the point is, by the time you know what visuals to displace what, it becomes easy. For instance, if you want to display trend of money across time, you use line chart. If you want to do comparison, use um, what they call column chart or bar charts. And if you want to check in terms of percentage of one thing in a bouquet of things, most likely use a pie chart. Let's see, what. Sometimes instead of using pie chart, you use bar chart, and that's because maybe you have a whole lot of things you want to display, and so you just know when to use what for what. And I think this is what they call it, waterfall. Yeah, waterfall. Very interesting stuff. I kind of like them. It's not that bad. So you can see what they use them for stock. Um, this one I think use them for physics or so thereabout. See, I see a lot of people using this. I really don't know what this is, but I think they use them for some kind of statistical analysis that has to do with, I think, maybe data science or so, predictive analysis. I'm not really sure, but I really don't know what a lot of these things do. Very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, this one used it for outliers. I think forgotten the name of this chart. They use it for forgotten the name. Yeah, in data science we actually use this chart for checking outliers, things that are not supposed to be. Forgotten the name of this chart again. Good. Anyways, uh, hopefully see you tomorrow. Do you have any questions?
The question is, I have to go and read again. Read.
Cool.
I have to rewatch this video.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I just have to rewatch the video.
Yeah, you should. Please. If you really intend like, you don't have to wait for me to, when you are done with the assignment and stuff like that. Just make sure that you oh, interesting. Just make sure that you look for problems yourself. You know, in the beginning I told you, just look for problems yourself. You don't have to wait for me for, or you can even meet me and like, I'm done with this. Do you have anything for me to do? I can then decide to give you some. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. I need to. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye. I'll be uploading this shortly, so you should get it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
All right, and you too.
See this thing I thought I was recording. I did not record it.
No.
No, I was recording it on 2 platforms. I use this one to get like a clear audio.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought I was recording this. Apparently I wasn't. Oh, wow, interesting. Thank God.